Good afternoon, everybody. Meteorologist Kyle Dickens here at the 6 News Now desk. We are tracking that potential for some severe weather here this afternoon. We do have a first alert day we need to talk about, so we're going to jump right to it here, folks, and let you know that there is the potential this afternoon here through about 6 p.m. for the possibility maybe an isolated tornado or two. This is going to be confined to areas. I'm actually going to go areas along and south of Highway 30. It's a localized risk, meaning that we're not going to see every hometown going to see a tornado, but the potential is there that we could see maybe a spin-up tornado or two. These aren't going to be large, destructive tornadoes. They'll be quick moving and quick spin-ups. So definitely want to stay alert here throughout the remainder of the afternoon for that potential, once again, that we could see maybe some severe weather here. So let's take a look at first alert Doppler radar, and we're going to start tracking around things here and showing you exactly what we're tracking and where we're tracking it at. So give me 1 second as we advance that. But again, it's going to be a deal where, throughout the afternoon, we're going to be watching this. So until 6 p.m., we're going to see that potential for some severe weather. So here we go. You can see first alert Doppler radar is lit up with quite a bit of activity throughout the region. And we're really focused on a couple areas right now. We got one storm in particular I'm watching here just to the northeast of Princeton here, northeastern parts of Bureau County. We've noticed, we had a viewer that did report maybe some brief rotation. So that is something we are watching closely in that area. Right now, I could tell you, it looks like if there is still any rotation, it would be very weak. I'm not terribly concerned at this time with that, but nonetheless, it is something that we're going to continue to watch closely here. So we'll zoom in here to another area that I'm watching, and that's all this development here just to the south of and southwest of the Quad Cities. You can see for Muscatine over towards the Wayland, Mount Pleasant area, north of Aquaka, near Aledo right now. We're starting to see storms really start to get going. Lots of lightning being indicated with these as well. We've noticed an uptick in lightning, in fact. And you can see one strong cell here right over top of Muscatine. I'll zoom into that area and we'll get a closer view here as we look at Muscatine. You can see lightning there being indicated north of the Drury area, along really following 61 at this point. And we'll check around here, see if we've got any rotation being indicated. But last check, there was not really much in the way of rotation, which is good news. But yeah, seeing some uptick in winds, though. We could see a severe thunderstorm warning issued momentarily for this. And something we'll watch closely here with that particular storm. We'll back things out once again and show you some other areas that we are tracking. Again, we were watching that storm closely in northeastern parts of Bureau County. It had some indication of some rotation a little bit ago, but I can tell you it looks like it has weakened some there. So that's some good news. But strongest cell does appear to be at the near Muscatine at this time. Another one that we are watching closely here just north of Mount Pleasant. We're watching a storm there very closely as well. So again, a couple areas that we're keeping a very close eye on here and that we're going to continue to track throughout the remainder of the afternoon here. And as this continues on, we're going to continue to see some development here throughout the remainder of the afternoon. So this isn't it, folks, unfortunately. We'll take a view here of kind of what is causing this. Look at this. I think it's pretty obvious where that warm front is. It's 68 degrees in Muscatine. It's 48 degrees in Galena. So you're talking a big 20 degree swing there and not too far of a distance, relatively speaking. 67 Mount Pleasant, that's a little bit of a rain-cooled air too, but 71 Galesburg, so there's an area of convergence. The area along that warm front from, say, Cedar Rapids to Davenport over towards Princeton is the area along and south of that where we could see some tornadic activity. That's going to be the concern here. Right now we have, thankfully, no watches or warnings, but something we'll watch very closely as these storms continue to expand and develop throughout the afternoon. As they do so, we get further on into the afternoon hours. We have a favorable environment, and this is called wind shear. That orange there represents the thunderstorm energy. So we're going to have some thunderstorm energy, enough to get storms to continue to develop here, but the wind direction is what we watch closely. And you can see as we head further up in the atmosphere, that wind starts changing directions. Once we get to about 3-4 o'clock, though, it does start to change, and once we get to 5, you can see all that wind is moving in a relatively similar direction throughout the atmosphere, and that's when the severe weather threat or the tornado threat will ultimately come to an end, and then all that orange goes away, all the thunderstorm energy is lost here by the time we get to 6 o'clock. and beyond. Here's a look at first alert Doppler, or first alert exact track rather, and you can see here once we get to the afternoon, it's doing a good job picking up on these storms, and a low pressure is going to kind of tuck in here behind that warm front, and that's the time. I do think between now and 3 o'clock is when we're going to have the chance to see maybe some rotating storms. We want to be cautious of that here again throughout the afternoon, be weather aware. These storms that develop here will have the chance once again to be severe, maybe possibly even tornadic. They move out pretty quickly though. We get to 10 o'clock and you can see anything after 5, 6 o'clock, we're going to be talking about just showers and maybe some thunderstorms here. Once again, first alert day here till 6 p.m. tonight. That's again a bit of a broad time frame here. I'm not expecting here to see this any further beyond that. I do think once we get to about 4 or 5 o'clock, we will see the threat come to an end, so that is certainly some good news. Well, if you've got some questions, please drop it in. I know we've got a lot of people streaming us here on Facebook. Thanks for joining us here. And is Davenport at risk for tornadoes? Yeah, it's a low-end risk. What we mean by that is we're not going to see a widespread outbreak of severe weather and tornadoes. We're going to see maybe 1 or 2 of these storms that develop could spin up a tornado. We could see some rotation within those. It could get warned for a tornado. That's what we're focused on right now. Anywhere south of Highway 30, which does include the Quad City Metro, will have that potential, and that's a broad area. I do think the further south you go, and certainly southeast of the Quad Cities has the better chance, but right now broad area is anywhere south of Highway 30 has that potential. If you're north of there, temperatures are only in the low 50s, upper 40s, so we don't expect anything tornadic where you are. Okay, anything going on to hit Prophetstown? Prophetstown, you're included in that risk. You're on the northern edge of it, so yes. But again, the threat is a little bit higher the further south you go. Camping in Eldridge, how is it looking for us out here? I would say you are probably better off if you're outdoors right now. You'd be better off moving inside for a little bit and letting these storms pass through, because not only is the chance there for the isolated tornadoes, we're also seeing some hail, small hail, and lots of lightning with these, heavy rainfall as well. So not a good idea to be outside camping in those conditions. Okay, Pori and Keithsburg. Yeah, Keithsburg, you're getting that storm move through right now, so we are definitely going to watch you closely. Maquoketa, going from Clinton to Maquoketa. I don't think Clinton and Maquoketa, I think you're a little further north than where we would expect that potential for some of those tornadoes. Sterling, yes, Sterling, you are included in this risk. Again, anywhere along and south of Highway 30 has that risk to see maybe a spin-up tornado. Again, these aren't going to be the big tornadoes that we've been seeing that occurred over the weekend in places like Kansas and Kentucky. Those were destructive. We're not expecting that today. We're expecting maybe 1 or 2 of these storms that forms might spin up into a brief tornado, might circulate a little bit, so we're going to watch that closely. But again, we're going to continue to watch this. We'll give you updates here every hour. Right now, not noticing anything on radar at this time. We've got some storms that we're watching closely, but nothing that shows signs of significant rotation. So that's the latest here. We're going to continue to keep you updated throughout the afternoon. Stay with TV6. We'll keep you advised on any watches or warnings that are issued for our area.